everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is August 17th, 2026. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have a shakeup in the Barcelona captaincy. I'm going to tell you all about that. Also, Fermin Lopez is set to receive a new number. And finally, we have 3 players who have finalized their exits out of Barcelona. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. And earlier today, I did the podcast where we discussed the possibility of Barcelona signing Gyökeres, amongst other news like the return of Sergio Busquets. So make sure to check out the podcast. Lots of interesting news in there. But without further ado, let's talk about the news in this video because, ladies and gentlemen, there's currently been a shakeup in the first team's captaincy. Because, of course, 2 captains have already left, starting with Mark ter Stegen, who has joined Ajax on loan until the end of the season, where we, of course, wish ter Stegen the best. Hopefully, he can recover his competitive rhythm and he can impress Ajax so they can sign him on a permanent transfer, or maybe even impress a different club. But either way, that's neither here or there. And the other captain, of course, that has left is Ronald Araujo, the best defender in the history of football. Just kidding. Ronald Araujo, who has joined Liverpool on loan until the end of the season with an option to buy worth 55 million euros. We also wish Ronald Araujo the best at Liverpool. Hopefully he can impress them and they can activate that option to buy, or maybe he can impress a different team that can then sign him on a permanent transfer. And of course, with 2 of our captains gone, and then there's Frankie, who of course is not gone but will be injured for several months. We have seen a shakeup in the captaincy, starting with Rafinha, who has now moved to first captain, and I gotta say, I cannot imagine a better. I had to add this. Anyway, sorry. But I cannot imagine a better first captain than Rafinha, who has shown us time and time again on and off the field that he is a great leader for this team of youngsters. Now, this was a surprise because technically with ter Stegen and Araujo gone, it's Frankie de Jong who is the most senior captain left. So I thought he would be the first captain, but instead it's Rafinha who has become the first captain, which I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm just surprised. I truly believe that Rafinha more than deserves this position. Now, in second place, or second captain, is Frankie de Jong, who of course will be out for the next 5 to 6 months due to injury. Pedri, who was the 5th captain last season, will now jump to 3rd captain. And now to the exciting part, because we have 2 new captains, ladies and gentlemen, and it's no other than Gabi, our Lion, and Eric Garcia, who was already a captain while he was coming up through the academy before leaving for Manchester City. So the Barcelona captains are officially Rafinha as the first captain, Frankie de Jong in 2nd, Pedri 3rd, Gabi 4th, and Eric Garcia in 5th. And I gotta say, I'm very, very happy for Gabi and Eric joining the list of captains and for Rafinha becoming the first captain. And of course, my question to you is, what do you think about Barcelona's new captains? Are you happy? Would you include someone else? Would you have a different order? Let me know down below in the comment section. And now we'll move on to the next bit of news because, as you know by now, the sardine, the ungrateful sardine, Ferran Torres has officially joined PSG. Of course, Ferran was used to wear the number 7. So now that number is vacant, and well, it will be worn by no other than Fermin Lopez, who used to wear the number 16, but now will wear the number 7 for this upcoming season, which, by the way, starts only in a few days, this weekend to be more specific. And I'm praying that Fermin Lopez will break the curse of the 7. Now, I don't know if this is a real thing, but this is what I call it, because if you look at the prior players who wore the number 7, We have Ferran Torres, we have Dembele, we have Griezmann, and we have Coutinho. Not the best number sevens. So I'm truly hoping that Fermin will break the curse of the 7, because before those bums wore that number, we did have Arda Turan, we had Pedro, and of course we had David Villa who wore that number. So let's hope that Fermin can break that curse and can make that number 7 great again. Never thought I would use that sentence on this channel, but here we are. Anyways, on to the next bit of news, because we do have 3 players who have finalized their exits out of Barcelona, with a few more to follow, starting with Jofre Torrents, who has officially joined Ajax. Now, the 19-year-old left back joined the Barcelona Academy back in 2017 when he was only 12 years old. He participated in the preseason last summer. He debuted with the first team under Hansi Flick last August in the match against Mallorca. This summer, he participated again in the preseason, but of course with Alejandro Balde and Joao Cancelo in the left-back position, there was no longer space for Jofre Torrents, and having outgrown Barca Athletic, Barcelona decided that the best thing would be to transfer Jofre Torrents. So he has officially joined Ajax until 2030 in exchange for 6 million euros, and with Barcelona retaining a buyback clause in case they ever want to bring back the player, and a percentage of any future sale. So if Jofre ends up killing it at Ajax, we can either bring him back, or he might end up going to another club, with Barcelona making even more money than the 6 million euros they are set to make off this transfer. Now, I got to say, I cannot imagine a better team than Ajax for Jofre Torrents. It's, of course, a team that has a very similar philosophy to that of Barcelona. And, of course, they are great at developing young talent. So I wish Jofre Torrents the best of luck in his new adventure in Amsterdam. Now, the second player who has finalized his move, it's no other than the 19-year-old midfielder Tommy Marquez, another academy graduate. He too participated in the preseason this summer. He debuted under Hansi Flick at the end of last season. And even though Tommy Marquez showed a lot of brilliance with the arrival of Rodri, of course, there is no space left for him on the first team. And having outgrown Barca Athletic, Barcelona decided that a move for Tommy Marquez would be best. So he has officially joined Braga in the Portuguese league on a permanent transfer in exchange of 10 million euros fixed, 12 million euro total package, so with variables. And with Barcelona maintaining a buyback clause and a percentage of future sale, which again, if Tommy Marquez ends up killing it, we can either bring him back or make even more money if he moves to another club. So far, 16 million euros from the moves of Jofre and Tommy Marquez. Now, the last player who has finalized his exit out of Barcelona, it's no other than the Hungarian goalkeeper, Aaron Jakobishvili, someone who spent last season on loan with Andorra in second division. It was expected that Jakobishvili would stay on the first team as the third goalkeeper. However, the player did not want that, because, of course, being a third goalkeeper of the first team means, well, not playing ever with the first team. So Jakobishvili requested an exit. He has officially joined Almeria in second division. It was initially thought that Almeria would pay around 2 to 3 million euros on a permanent transfer, but it seems that Jakobishvili will be joining Almeria on loan until next summer, with Almeria having an option to buy for 50% of the rights of the player. So if Jakobishvili impresses, Almeria could only sign 50% of his rights, which means even if he leaves Almeria on a permanent transfer, Barcelona could always make half of a transfer fee in the future if Jakobishvili moves somewhere else. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. Let me know what you think about these exits, about Fermin wearing the number 7, and of course about Barcelona's captains. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.